And hello, welcome again to you are listening to I Am Shatoria, and that is me, your host today, Shatoria Christian. And you're at a place where you're entering to an area where we talk about everything, including love, hope, family, relationships, and a whole lot of faith. Now, today's topic is absolutely one of the realest topics that we can talk about. We're a topic that, kind of hit a little close to home a little bit. So some people may get a little uncomfortable with this conversation, but I think this conversation needs to be had. We are talking about self-love, and we're not going to talk about it one time, but we got a series. I have 3 wonderful ladies coming to you in the next couple of weeks talking about their self-love and how it's important to them. I'm going to talk about how it's important to me. We're going to be talking about learning to self-love. We're going to be looking at the walk and the growth of some of these ladies. But here's the thing, we're not going to leave this topic alone, because a lot of young ladies, including myself, we kind of need to hear, what's going on and how we feeling and how we can make this what it is. Self-love is a huge, huge topic. When you don't have a little self-love, things can kind of go awry. Relationships, love, yourself, job. So we're going to be hitting all that today. But today I'm really, really geeked today. I have one of my close friends, battle buddies, one of my sisters in the business, a little sister, as I call her. She just, all these wonderful things. But she's right now in Texas. She got some things coming up, but she's in Texas. So I want you guys to show a little love for my boo. I call her Dafeney. So I'm going to have Dafeney come on, and Dafeney going to give a little bit about her and who she is, what she's doing. And then we're going to move on to our self-love topic. So hello, Dafeney.
Hi, Tori. How are you?
I'm good, honey. How,
Oh my gosh.
how is
I just want to thank you and say, giving me this opportunity to, come on the show and just give a little, spiel about, self-love and who I am and things like that. Because I truly, truly believe that self-love is very important. And we as women, we as human beings deserve to have self-love. So I'm geeked. I'm ready. Let's start the conversation. I don't know if you want me to go ahead and tell a little bit about myself.
Now, go ahead, girl. Tell the world who you is. Who you be?
Hey world. So my name is Dafeney Williams. I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and I migrated here to the United States when I was about 5 years old. I have both of my parents with me. I have an older sister, I have a younger sister, and I have a younger brother. I'm also married to my lovely and wonderful husband. We call him JR, Junior for short. I also have a 9-year-old son who I love so much. His name is Jeremiah. And I also have a stepdaughter. So I have a really great support system. Especially with being in the military, you definitely have to have that support system with you. And, I just thank my family for being here with me. I've been in the military, Army, for 13 years. Whew, that's a big feat within itself. I just graduated Warrant Officer Basic course. Yes, girl, that was just, oh my goodness.
Again on that, Miss. I'm a warrant officer now.
Thank you. That was a feat within itself. Whew, that's another podcast, but I would definitely let y'all know how that went. But I'm just here, trying to, make sense of everything with everything changing. COVID is happening.
Right.
I'm also getting ready to PCS to Germany without my family. So they'll be here in Texas. It's just a lot going on, around this time. And, just being able to get through it all and not being so hard on myself.
Right.
So, what else? I can say that I've truly been blessed. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm really simple but complicated in a way, but doing this Tori, you know me. Doing this podcast is literally outside of my comfort zone. So
Yes.
I'm glad that I'm doing it because other people need to hear other stories so that way they can be encouraged and find some hope. So I hope that I'm able to do that for somebody today.
Well, that's my whole plan with this podcast. Like I said last week on my other podcast show, the introduction is that my goal is for people to hear other people's voices, and we talk about the real, we be real, we have honesty, we have real vibes, we have positive vibes. And we kind of like lean on each other a little bit because my goal and prayer is that when people hear these stories, they're able to reach out to those who are part of these stories and have conversation. Do a little growth checking and dealing with themselves in a way to where it's like, oh snap, you know what? I'm going through what she's going through. That's good information. Let me hit her up so I can talk to her. So that's my whole goal with this podcast, and my prayers that people get something out of it. As we pour out, people pour in. So
Yes.
my definitely my goal, my prayer with you is always, especially for traveling mercy as you about to leave here very, 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 very soon. I know the family is definitely going to miss you. So that goes into the conversation that we're having, because as women and women in the military, we have to have that self-esteem, being in a male-dominant career field, which is military itself. Even though our jobs personally is not really male dominant, but we are in a male dominant job, which is being in the military itself. So
definitely.
what is, if you can, like, what is your definition of self-love? Like, how you define it?
So for me, I would say self-love is being able to know yourself. As women, we tend to be really hard on ourselves. And finding that self-love, being able to just love on yourself, know that everything that you do won't be perfect, but you are who you are. You are that person. We tend to always, put ourselves on the back burner as women. We wear so many hats. We're mothers. We are, career women. We're boss ladies. We're women in ministry, we're wives, we're mothers, we're everything to everybody else, but sometimes we put ourselves on the back burner. We don't ever have time for ourselves. So self-love is knowing that, okay, this is me, this is who I am. I can take some time off and and go get my nails done, or I can take some time off and and go get my eyebrows done, or just go to a spa and just relax. And like I said, we wear so many hats, we tend to forget and lose ourselves because we're giving ourselves to everybody else. I was reading something the other day that says you can't pour from an empty cup. So therefore, you always have to be, full. And if you're not, you can't be effective. You can't give others love. You can't love on anybody else if you don't have that love for yourself. And, and we tend to look and say, well, I need to be this for this person. I need to be that for that person. But who pours into you?
Right.
We don't always find that person or people or friends pouring into us, and so we lack that. So we definitely have to love on ourselves. We definitely have to be full and effective in order to be that for someone else. I take, for example, for me, I'm a very, how should I say, like, goal-oriented. I'm always here for everybody else. And many times I find myself losing myself. I'm recently getting back to, who is Dafeney? Who is she? Like, what is she? What's her purpose? But I had to remind myself that no one is going to love you like you love yourself. No one is going to love you like you love yourself.
Right.
And no one should make you feel guilty for taking that time out and saying, hey, I need to see about myself, or hey, I need to start loving on myself. No one should make you feel guilty of that. And for those who do, shame on them. people who are around you, or people who understand you, friends who understand you, family who understand you, should know, hey, she needs some time off. Like, she needs to love herself. She needs to know who she is in order to be effective for us. And those who can't understand that might not need to be in your circle, or might not need to be around you. So self-love, the definition can be a vast majority of things, but as long as you know what it is to you, no one can take that away from you.
No, I definitely agree with you, because I think one of the things that we have learned over the years, like you said, we definitely wear different hats with being a mom, entrepreneurship. Me and you work very close together, so we
Yes, we
wear
do.
multiple hats trying to balance out life. And I laugh because my question was, well, how do you show yourself self-love? And I laugh because as many times we don't get our dinner dates, without the kids.
Yes, we do.
We go on to lunch,
Yes.
I miss our lunch days, because that was that time where, even though we're at work, we got that moment to break away.
Yes.
Like, man, let me breathe a little bit before somebody's feelings get hurt.
Let's go to lunch. Let's see what, let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on.
But
I
I crack jokes because I just told Ron, with COVID, I have like a sideways jealousy because he still goes to work, and he has a decompression moment where he can decompress on his way to work, because it's like I'm going to the house and I'm at home. I am mommy. I am working still. I'm business owner. She's a business owner, and it's like he's like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "I need a break. I need a break."
Yes.
But then
Yes.
none of y'all here no more.
That's true.
And
That's
my
true.
girls are really here. So
But
that's so with you, especially with you about to be by yourself.
yes, so that's another thing.
How you about to treat yourself? What you about to do with some self-love?
So that's another thing. Like, sometimes we think that, okay, it's good to have other people around us. Don't get me wrong. It's good to have those in your corner who are supporting you. But sometimes you need to be by yourself, because one, you need to hear from the Lord himself, just for him to talk to you. But being by yourself doesn't always mean a bad thing. Sometimes I'm an introvert by trade.
Yep.
So I'm always, by myself. I don't find anything wrong with me being by myself.
Right.
Some people are like, oh my gosh, like, how can you, go on a dinner date by yourself? I've done that before.
That's when you know you love yourself, when you can go date.
Yes, I have done that. I've gone to a restaurant, sat down, asked for one menu, so that way I can just be by myself and just have my thoughts to myself. So being by yourself doesn't always mean a bad thing.
Right.
It's just, gives you more time to reflect on you. Some people like to, go out and get their nails done, or go out and get pampered. Some people like to write in their journals. Some people, whatever that thing is for you, that allows you to be yourself, or that allows you to relax away from the world, whether you're with friends or, by yourself, that's your thing. That's, what you like to do. For me, I'm very simple. Like, I can sit at home and watch a movie and be, content. I don't always have to, go out and do something, but I can be at the house and I can write in my journal. I can read my Bible. I can meditate on, the things that are going on with me. So it doesn't necessarily have to be doing something, but whatever that thing is for you, that's how you show yourself love. That's how you allow yourself to be who you are. So there's no right or wrong answer in what people decide to do. Is just being content with it, knowing that this is what you like to do by yourself or with others.
So with that though, let's get to the deepness of it. Do you mind sharing, like, what is your lowest? When have you ever just felt the lowest?
Oh my gosh. And honestly, like, when I was when I was thinking about, some of the questions, and I was like, man, like,
It takes.
there's one that I want to talk about, but man, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm about to open up really, 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 open up to the world. But I think one of the my lowest points was in 2015. I'm gonna be, very honest. Um, in my marriage, I caused something to happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, Tori, when I tell you, it was like a ton of bricks. And the reason I say that is because I could never have seen myself, doing that. And
Right.
so, of course, it goes back to, okay, this is your fault. You've done this. All these crazy thoughts going through your head, right?
Right.
So I found myself being depressed. I found myself, hating myself. Like, I mean, absolutely hating myself. I couldn't look in the mirror. Like, it was just, to me, I felt like it was just that bad. And it took everything in me to come out of it. And I also had to have those in my corner praying for me, or those in my corner, coaching me and talking to me, allow me to see a different side. During that time, honestly, I was just everywhere, like in the wind, like just doing whatever I wanted to do. And like I said, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was, my back was against the wall, and I felt like I couldn't go anywhere else but up. And so, I had to talk to my pastor, I had to talk to my husband. I just had to talk to those people that were close to me. But within that, I felt so ashamed. Like, oh my gosh, Tori, it was bad. When I tell you it was bad, and we've had this conversation before, it was just, I just thought it was the worst thing. I'm not gonna mention it here, until I'm ready, but I just felt it was the worst thing. Me and my husband and I, we were not seeing eye to eye at that time. It was just, that whole year was just bad. It just was out of control. And so to come out of that, like I said, I really had to search within myself. No, even though that I was talking to my friends or talking to my pastor, just, trying to get some guidance, I kept a lot of it on the inside. Um, a lot of it was kept on the inside. But I eventually had to search within myself to say, okay, Dafeney, things happen. Understand that you've asked God for forgiveness, so God has forgiven you. But why haven't you forgiven yourself?
Right.
Why haven't you let it go? And it definitely has a hold on you, because I'm telling you, not until recently, and recently, I mean, like maybe what, 2018, 17, around the time that you and I met, and we've been talking about different things, that I really started. And I said this happened in 2015, like really started like understanding, like, okay, Dafeney, you are truly forgiven. I wouldn't say that I didn't love myself, but I was trying to figure out what that self-love was. Was I worth it? Was I, what's the word I'm looking for? And for me, I'm kind of like a perfectionist. So it's like, Dafeney, why did you do this? Like, or Dafeney, like, what happened? Like, I felt that bad because I never, saw myself in that. And so it took a lot. And it took a lot for me to come out of that dark place, or for me to come out of that situation, still in a place where I can see, okay, Dafeney, you made a mistake. Now, how do you recover from that? You know what I mean?
That's
So
where we tend to forget the how do we recover.
yes,
Like
yes,
you said, how you came out of it by prayer, and people that is, and I think that's going to definitely be another conversation we'll have to have, is the people around you, the people in your circle,
yes.
lifting you up and praying for you, because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, me and you have had these conversations before. But again, that's because we have the understanding of each other. We know how to pray for each other. We know how to talk to
Yes,
each other. We don't,
yes,
I'm not condemning each other. And I think that's the problem with society and the concept of having friendships, because I should not be friends with anyone that is going to condemn me, judge me, and
or
put,
bash you.
yeah, like we mistakes happen. it's almost like those people who you get married and you go to that friend and you're like, oh my God, he did A, B, C, D. Girl, I would just divorce him. Like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it also adds more into that self-love because you already doubting yourself. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
lined up with the correct people, you won't grow anymore in your self-love because with you already doubting yourself, you got to have those individuals that's on your team supporting you, talking about, okay, I get you mad at you, but let's talk about this.
Yes.
Let's pray about this. And then truly check it in on you. I think, and again, whole nother conversation when we talk about friendship, but that's where that friendship, and that's how we grow into self-love. And that's the,
Yes.
in my opinion, that's how we grow into self-love. We have people pushing us and helping us. Just like you said too, go on dates by yourself, man, please.
Yes, girl. I've done that before. I've been to the movies by myself. I've been, at a restaurant, gone to eat by myself. Like just those things to just give
Right,
you a break from the world.
girl. And I think that's the problem too. Society puts so much on us on what is correct and what is perfect that we forget what the word says.
Yes. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
society says this is okay, but the Bible did not. At the end of the day, and I can be very clear about this, I know for me, I'm far from perfect, like far, down the street, around the corner, far from it. But one of the things I'm going to stand on is if I make a mistake, my goal is the next day, God, how can I do better than what I did yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I ain't gonna
I
be perfect
agree.
today. Look, I ain't anybody to be perfect. Let me just call that that. But I am not going to put myself in a predicament to where, you know how they say never.
Of course. Of course. Because that was me. I was like,
Nope,
nah, never.
I ain't
Girl,
going that
that
life.
thing came back and slapped me in my face. I said, oh,
Mhm.
okay. Mm-hmm.
This is the one question I have. With everything you've gone through and how you came out of it, the biggest question is, would you change all that you did and went through? Would you change anything about it today?
You know what? That is a very interesting question. And the reason I say that is because the other day, I was watching a kind of like a podcast um, through Facebook Live. One of my friends was doing one for one of her people. And I was like thinking to myself, he was talking and I was thinking to myself, I said, with everything that happened to him, would he change anything? Because what he went through allowed him to get closer to knowing who he was and to knowing God and to getting closer to God. So I've asked myself, that question too, like Daphne, like, would you change anything within the situation that you were, to where you are today? And honestly, the human being portion of me would definitely change something. But I think the spiritual portion of me, I don't think I would, because it wouldn't allow me to be where I am right now as far as how close I am to God and what I am searching from him. I'm not saying that it could have went a different route to get me to where I am today, but I don't think that I would have a real realization about who God is, his love, his forgiveness, allowing him to work in me, to change me, to change my heart, to change my mind. I don't think it would be as powerful as it is today. So would I change something? My spirit man would not, honestly. But of course, my human being would say yes. But I don't think I would change anything, because honestly, it allowed me to get closer to God, like to see him for who he really is. Like he can change anybody. He can
Right,
change whatever situation you're in.
right.
And so, you know, we can think the worst of the worst that we've done, hating ourselves, thinking that we're less than, or thinking that, we don't deserve, the love of someone else. But that's not true. Like God can change those thoughts, and God can show you that, whatever it is that you've done, you can start loving yourself again. You can start, getting to know who you are again. So I don't think I would change anything. I don't. because even till this day, I'm still learning, more about myself. I'm still growing, I'm still, surprising myself. And so, today I can honestly say that I have forgiven myself. I have, things happen. It happened. God showed me a different route. God showed me a different way. He's changed, who I am. So I think I would keep everything the way that it was, so that way I can get to the destination that I am right now in God.
Okay. Now, if you can give any advice to someone that's listening, what advice would you give them about going through self-love and figuring things out?
And advice I would give is, I saw a quote that said, "Put yourself at the top of your to-do list every single day."
Oh,
Yes. When I saw that, I was like, this is really good, because, like I said, we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. But if you start off the day with yourself, getting yourself together, getting yourself mentally, physically prepared for what the day will bring, that may include having your prayer time, your meditation time, your worship time with God, allowing yourself to be ready for the day, as in putting yourself on top of, the to-do list every single day. I think that right there would allow you to start the day a different way. um there's sometimes that I get up and, I'm so busy and getting rushed and ready and stuff like that, that I forget. And, I'm like, Lord, forgive me, because I didn't start the day like I wanted to. I didn't start with getting myself ready, myself, mentally prepared. So I would definitely tell anybody, put yourself on the top of the to-do list every single day. And just know that you're not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Things will happen, but as long as you know who you are and what God has put in you, you will definitely, definitely go a long way. And don't be ashamed of who you are. You are you because God made you the way that you are. You love yourself like nobody could love you. And so, as long as we keep that mentality and know, like I said, know who we are, we're definitely going to go far.
okay. It's like crazy. I'm about to ask you what you want to leave people with, but I think you summed that up with put yourself on top of the list.
Yes,
Um,
every single day.
I'm gonna use that. Okay? I'm just gonna let you know that now. So when you start podcast, you're gonna be like, really T, I'm like, yup, I'm gonna use
Yep.
it. And the crazy part about it is, this ain't even just for women. This is just for me. It's for everybody
Anybody.
as
This
well.
is just for anybody, because even men go through, men go through,
That's
they
a whole nother conversation.
yes, it is. They struggle with things every single day. So this is not
Correct.
just for women, but, men go through too.
They go through
Men,
a lot that I
a
think
lot.
do not. I'll put it like this, and by unpopular opinion, I feel like men don't have rights that women do.
Yes, especially when it comes to emotion and feeling.
That right there. And I
Yes,
feel like we've put them such in a box that we make them weak. What we feel is weak is really strong.
yes, it is. Being
And
able to talk about your feelings.
be able to be in a atmosphere where they feel protected.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that's a whole nother conversation
Yes, it is.
because I've watched a lot of men whole soul gets taken because when they try to do self-love, society says that's not how men do self-love. Get
Nope.
over how you feel. You better not shed a tear. You better not whine. You better not complain.
Mm-hmm.
God to take care A, B, C, and D, but it comes back to what are we doing to lift them up when they have a whole world on their shoulders? What are we doing as the women? And I'm not talking about just African American women, Black women, minorities. I'm talking about women in general. What are we doing to keep the men of the
Yes.
world supported? Because when the world says you don't cry, you don't do this, and you don't do that, it tears down what's trying to be built. And how they can emotionally support us as women.
Yes, and that goes back to the self-love too, because he has to love himself in order to love you. So therefore, you know, them not being able to express their self-love or know that, how to love themselves, because a lot of them don't. A
No.
lot of them do not know how to love themselves because one, they didn't have that. But we, as women that can help, like, let's normalize, men sharing their feelings. Let's normalize them getting mental help. Let's normalize them, you know, being the strong man that they are and can be, and still be able to talk about their emotions, whether it's with friends, family, whoever it may be. Allow them to have that escape route, or allow them to have that outlet that they can feel normal, and they can feel like, I'm not going to be bashed for this.
Right.
And so, like you said, society puts them in a whole box by themselves, and they're just in there like, okay, what am I supposed to do now?
Right, right. So, question for the people that I know that may want to reach out to you, like how can they find Dafeney? Just
So
ask you some questions.
I only have two social media platforms. I'm on Facebook as Daphne Williams. That's Dafeney Williams. And then I have Snapchat under Daphne21. Those are the only two social medias that I do have. Um, I won't say I'm an open book, but I will definitely share my experiences with you, with anybody who's willing to ask those questions. Um, like I said, this podcast right now is a really outside my comfort zone because I'm a very private person, or I'm a very, I'm an introvert. So, but one interesting thing that I can say is I find myself, speaking more, opening up more, to talk about my experiences with others. So I don't know, where this is gonna go, but like I said, I'm finding myself, opening up a lot more. So I can start talking and be a whole chatterbox now.
See,
So
I'm not messing with you today because and it's crazy because you sound like Onisa, you sound like Tashi, which you sound like Brandon. Look here, you guys all will be hearing from them really soon too as well. But I laugh because as I am one of the extroverts in my whole time,
yes, you are.
I praise God being an extrovert because it allowed me to be. I think the crazy part about it is I'm an extrovert, but I'm not as open until now.
Okay.
That's like a difference because people were like, "Oh my God, I know Shatoria." No, 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 no.
No, no, you don't.
There's a lot of things about Shatoria people don't know. I think when we're all together, you're an extrovert,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm an extrovert by nature, but then I am a introvert when it come down to some hardcore wounds that
Yes,
it's slowly
yes,
coming out now. So,
yes.
like, I've already talked about the book last week that's going to be coming out here soon. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really,
Which I am definitely excited about.
ooh, yeah. See, that is me being a extrovert on the personal level because I'm an
Yes.
extrovert on everything else, business, my kids, but I'm an introvert when it comes down to the personal side of Shatoria. Who and what is really Shatoria? Um,
But Tori, like, so when we met in 2017, and we've known each other for what, 3 going on 4 years now.
forever.
Um, yeah, I know, right? It feels like forever. Um, Getting to know who you are and getting to know your story, I can see why, you wouldn't want to, talk about it. Like, who wants to talk about the negative stuff, or who wants to talk about the hurt, or who wants to talk about the pain? But I thank God that you're opening up like you are, because a lot of people are listening. A lot of people are being drawn to you because they too are going through, but they don't know how to express it. And and it's funny because we go through things not for us, but
Right.
we go through things to be able to, tell someone else, help someone else get through. So this is definitely going to help somebody. It may help one or two people, but at least it's out there and people are able to, get comfort and get strength from that. And that way they can too share their stories and be able to say, okay, you know what? I can find that peace. I can find that, what I'm looking for, because there's someone else that's been through it that can, help me through it. So I'm definitely interested for all the ventures that, you're getting ready to do. I'm waiting for the book. Ship it to me in Germany. If I have to purchase it, through Amazon, I'm going to purchase it because I'm
I'm
really, really
excited.
excited.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. The book is going to be awesome. It is, we'll have a release date soon, but
Mm-hmm.
so geeked about the book. And when it comes out, yeah, because it definitely puts everything about me on the market. Like, it puts
Yes.
everything out. Like,
And so for those people who thought they knew you, oh yeah, they definitely gonna know you now.
yeah, they're gonna know me now for real. It's gonna be like some unturned rocks.
Yes.
Like, wait a minute. So, and the book definitely talks about my self love and some other things. Talks about forgiveness. It hit a lot of things we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about here too. But yeah, it hits a lot. Like, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But no, I got you when you get to Germany. So
Of course, of
I'm
course.
definitely here for it. But I want to thank you, Honey Bunches, for being on with me
Of
today.
course.
I mean, it's absolutely fun. Like I said, my prayer is definitely as you leave your family and you out here serving. I am blessed to serve with you. And, these last 3 years and change that we have acted a food together is still not.
Yes, we have. We have memories, stories to
Man,
tell,
we got
Lord.
memories for days. And then I know I'll see you again at retirement. So
Of course, I will be there.
get turned up. But anyway, I can't say it right. But, Janae, make sure people know I can't say it right. But I absolutely thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And to all you guys, I want to thank you guys for joining us today on I Am Shatoria. As we are not done with this topic, get ready to check us out again next week as we speak to another young lady on her thoughts about self-love, where she's at with it. And I'm telling you, she got some stuff to tell you. I'm so geeked and can't wait. But in the meantime, you can also check me out on IG and Facebook at I Am Shatoria, and you can check out my website at iamshatoria.com, where you'll see and receive more information about this topic and about upcoming events, shows, encouragement, and a little inspiration. As I've always said before, I believe we need to always walk in love. We need to live fearlessly and always have a whole lot of faith. As always, it's never goodbye, but I'll talk to you later. You guys have a blessed day.